Her heart sank, but she pushed the feeling aside. If something's bothering you, you can talk to me, Kene. Not everything has to be a discussion, Amaka, he snapped, his tone sharper than she'd ever heard. She blinked, taken aback. I didn't mean to. Can we just watch the movie? He interrupted, his eyes fixed on the screen. Amaka nodded silently, but the tension hung in the air, like a storm cloud. The cracks in their relationship widened as time went on. Kene began spending less time with her, claiming he needed space to focus on his career and rebuild his life. When they did see each other, he seemed distant, distracted. One weekend, Amaka invited him over for dinner, hoping to rekindle some of the closeness they'd lost. She spent the day preparing his favorite dishes, setting the table with the candles they used to light on special occasions. When Kene arrived, he barely glanced at the spread. This looks nice, he muttered before sitting down and scrolling through his phone. Amaka watched him, her chest tightening. Kene, can you put your phone away? I made this for us. With a sigh, he set the phone down but didn't meet her eyes. They ate in near silence, the occasional clink of cutlery the only sound between them. Finally, Amaka couldn't take it anymore. What's going on, Kene? You've been so distant lately. He sighed again, this time deeper, as if her question was an inconvenience. Nothing's going on. I've just been busy. Busy with what? She pressed. You barely talk to me anymore. You don't even look at me the same way. Kene leaned back in his chair, his expression unreadable. Amaka, not everything is about you. I'm trying to figure out my life right now. And what about us? She asked, her voice trembling. Are we not part of your life anymore? His silence was deafening. The breaking point came one evening when Amaka overheard a phone conversation she wasn't meant to hear. Kene was in the hallway of her apartment, his voice low but sharp. I told you, I'll figure it out, he said. Just give me some time. Amaka stepped closer, her heart pounding. I'm tired of pretending everything's fine, Kene continued. She deserves to know, but it's complicated. Amaka's breath hitched as she realized he was talking about her. When he ended the call and turned around, he froze, his eyes widening in guilt. Who were you talking to? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. It's nothing, he said quickly. Just work. Don't lie to me, Kene, she said, her voice breaking. What's going on? He ran a hand through his hair, avoiding her gaze. I think we need some space, Amaka. Her stomach dropped. Space? After everything? After, she gestured toward her side, her voice rising in disbelief. After I gave you a part of myself so you could live? I didn't ask you to do that, he said, his tone defensive. The words hit her like a slap. Tears filled her eyes as she stared at him, searching for the man she had once loved so deeply. You didn't have to ask, Kene. I did it because I loved you. Kene looked away, guilt etched on his face. I didn't mean for things to turn out like this. Then why are you pushing me away? She demanded, her voice breaking. What happened to us? He didn't answer, and the silence between them spoke louder than any words ever could. I'm sorry, Kene said, looking away. After the surgery, I started to feel different. I don't know if I still feel the same way about us. Amaka stared at him, disbelief and heartbreak swirling in her chest. So that's it? You're done with me now that you've gotten what you needed? It's not like that, he said weakly. Then what is it like, Kene? Because from where I'm standing, it feels like betrayal. Amaka left that night, her heart shattered. She spent weeks in a fog of grief, questioning everything, her love for Kene, her decision to donate, her own worth. Amaka's heartbreak didn't fade overnight. In the weeks after Kene's cold departure, she found herself spiraling into a haze of confusion and pain. Her mind replayed the moments they had shared, the sacrifices she had made, and the emptiness he had left behind. Despite her friends' pleas to let him go, a part of her clung to the hope that their love could still be salvaged. One rainy morning, Amaka found herself standing outside Kene's apartment, drenched and trembling. She had debated this decision for hours, but her aching heart had won. "Kene, please, open the door," she called, her voice shaking. After a moment, the door creaked open, revealing Kene. He looked surprised to see her, but not particularly pleased. "What are you doing here, Amaka?" he asked, his tone clipped. I need to understand," she said, stepping forward. "Why are you doing this? Why are you pushing me away, after everything we've been through?" Kene sighed, running a hand through his hair. "Amaka, this isn't working anymore. I didn't ask for your kidney, and I didn't ask for this pressure." Her breath caught. "Pressure? Kene, I gave you my kidney, because I love you. Because I wanted to save you. How can you call that pressure?" "You don't get it," he said, his voice rising. "I didn't want to feel like I owe my life to someone. It's suffocating." Tears streamed down her face. "You don't owe me anything, Kene. I never wanted you to feel that way. I just wanted us to be happy, together." Kene looked away, his silence cutting deeper than any words. "Why?" she asked, her voice breaking. "Why did you stop loving me? Was it something I did?" "It's not that simple," Kene muttered. "Then explain it to me," she urged. "Because all I see is the man I loved, who I still love, walking away without a reason." Kene exhaled sharply. "Amaka, I've changed. After the surgery, I realized I wanted something different in life. I need space, freedom." "And someone else?" she interrupted, her voice bitter. Kene flinched, but didn't deny it. Amaka's heart shattered all over again. Was she worth everything we had? He didn't answer, and the silence was deafening. Desperate for one last chance, Amaka decided to write Kene a letter. "Kene, I don't know how to move forward without understanding why we fell apart. I gave you a part of me, not because I wanted something in return, but because I believed in us. Please, if you ever cared for me, meet me one last time. Let me say goodbye properly." She slipped the letter under his door and waited for days. But Kene never responded. One night, Amaka stood in front of a mirror, staring at her reflection. Her once bright eyes were dull, her frame thinner from weeks of sleepless nights and skipped meals. "Why are you doing this to yourself?" her best friend, Kene, asked, pulling her into a hug. "He's not coming back, Amaka. You need to let him go." I thought we were forever," Amaka whispered. "And maybe you were," Kene said gently. "But forever doesn't always mean together. It's time to find your forever within yourself." But slowly, she began to heal. She threw herself into her projects, staying late and volunteering for additional assignments, just to keep her mind occupied. One evening, as she prepared for a major presentation, she overheard her colleagues talking. "Amaka's really pushing herself lately," Kene said. "She's probably trying to prove she can still keep up after everything," another replied. Their words stung, but Amaka ignored them. She poured her heartbreak into her designs, creating visuals that were raw, emotional, and strikingly different from her usual style. Her team noticed the change. "These are powerful," Mr. Ade said during a review session, holding up one of her designs. "But they feel heavy, Amaka. What's going on?" "I just wanted to try something different," she replied, brushing off the question. "Amaka," he'd say during a review session, "if we could bottle up your creativity and sell it, we'd be richer than Apple." In the weeks that followed, Amaka channeled her pain into her work. Her designs became a reflection of her journey, vibrant colors interspersed with darker tones, representing the duality of love and loss. At a company showcase, one of her pieces caught the attention of a major client. "This is incredible," the client said. "It feels real." Amaka smiled faintly. "It is." Her heartbreak didn't vanish overnight, but her work became her healing process. With time, she rediscovered her passion and began to rebuild her life, one design at a time. One day, Kene reached out, sending her a long message filled with apologies and regret. He admitted that he had made a mistake and asked for another chance. Amaka never replied. She had given him a part of herself, but she realized she couldn't give him the rest. She had learned the hardest lesson of all: sometimes, love means letting go, even when it breaks you.
Enjoyed the story? Please like, share and subscribe to my channel.